Hey everybody, and welcome back to Shou plays Seduce Me, the Otome. I finally figured out that my mic can do headset monitoring so I can hear my voice while I talk. It's really weird, actually. Anyway, we were going to see Ready to Take on the Day. Okay, let's get to it. I stretched and quickly changed into my clothes before heading downstairs with my bag. As I reached the lobby, I stopped and sniffed the sudden new smell in the air. Breakfast? I continued my way to the dining room to see Diana, laying out a plate covered with sliced fruit. How can you smell sliced fruit? On the table there were delicious-smelling eggs, toast, bacon, ham, veggies, and juice. I felt my mouth salivate. Oh, well, I guess if it's not just fruit. But then I remembered that it was Diana serving breakfast, and I shook my head. What are you doing?
Ah, you're up. Come. Breakfast. I didn't know what you liked, so I made everything I knew humans ate for this time of day.
Wow, that's kind of impressive. I walked over and scanned the table before giggling. Diana raised an eyebrow at me.
And what is so funny?
I don't know. I'm impressed. You didn't make everything breakfast related. You forgot a couple of things.
Like what?
Yeah, like what? Waffles? Coffee? Pancakes? Waffles? Diana looked almost insulted before looking at the table and recounting the plates. I laughed harder, making her glare at me.
I haven't been in the human world long enough to know everything, all right? Unlike the boys, I know little to nothing about what you humans eat in your homes.
That's probably a good thing. At the mention of the boys, I suddenly remembered them. They treated me like part of their family, caring for me and making sure I was okay beyond anything else. They were servants to me, and I let them go. I let out a sigh at the memory. Little did I know that Diana stared at me the entire time. I shook my head and looked at the table, getting an empty plate and filling it with what I wanted before sitting and eating. Diana remained standing, watching me. I felt almost naked under her gaze, so I looked over, pausing my eating. Aren't you going to eat?
I already ate.
What? So fast? What did you eat?
You really wish to know?
No, I changed my mind. Pretend I didn't ask. Yeah, okay. I wanted to know more about demons. I wanted to know more about her. Of course I said yes. Diana stared in surprise at me before smirking a bit and reaching into her cleavage. Ew. I watched as she pulled out a small purple vial. She popped the cork and poured a mere couple sipfuls into her palm before recorking the vial and placing it back in her dress. Diana closed her eyes and closed her hand. What was she doing? It was as odd to watch it, yet at the same time, I was particularly at the edge of my seat in curiosity. What was she going to do? Her hand started to open, almost like a blossoming flower, and revealed a small peach-sized fruit. It was purple and had almost an enchanting smell to it that made my food seem almost disgusting.
A plant from the abyssal plains. We call it a sweet flower. Would you like to try it?
If given the option, then yes, I probably will. I nodded, staring at the fruit. It looked absolutely glorious and delectable. I couldn't resist grabbing onto the chance to try it. Diana nodded before cupping the fruit in both hands and pulling the purple flesh from the fruit, revealing a juicy blackish center. As if it was cut on the inside, Diana pulled out a perfect slice and handed it to me.
I must say, you may be the first human to try this fruit. You should consider yourself lucky.
Oh, believe me, I do. I nodded, not pulling my eyes away from the fruit slice in my hand. It was juicy, and its clear juice painted over my fingers. I somehow didn't care. I wanted to try it and savor it. I lifted the small slice to my lips and took a small bite, feeling ecstasy run through my mouth. I almost couldn't fight back the moan that was erupting from my throat. Ugh, gross. Tamantha, you're weird. It was sweet, yet it was slightly tart. It was the perfect combination, and at the same time it felt so unnatural. Like a strawberry or something, I don't know, that's the only sweet tart thing I can think of right now. I felt not only pleasure in my mouth, but my body began to feel energized and warm. This is getting weird. All of that was from a small bite. Actually, this entire game is weird, so I don't know why it's bothering me now. I guess it's bothered me throughout. That's okay. I swallowed the bite full and let out a pleasured sigh, making Diana smirk slightly at me with a raised eyebrow. I couldn't lie to her about how it tasted. It's delicious!
That it is. They're natively grown in my kingdom, so I have the pleasure of enjoying these every day.
Every day? You have a kingdom?
I do. The boys are not the only royals in the demon world, sweetie. I just so happen to be a princess.
Not a queen? I stared in surprise. She was really a princess? How? She looked so mature. She was more of a queen than a princess. Really? You're a princess? You seem more like a queen. For a split second, I swore I saw Diana blush, but as she started to laugh, I shook my head of the thought.
You flatter me, little girl. You best be careful. I may just take your flattery as an invitation to take your energy.
You scare me? I shut my mouth, feeling a blush run across my own cheeks. I returned to eating the fruit, hearing her chuckle and eat the remainder of the fruit on her own. Surprisingly, I felt full just from that small slice. How could that be? The only explanation I had was that it was a demon fruit, so I mentally accepted it as just that. What I didn't expect was Diana leaning over and lifting my chin to look down at me.
Messy, aren't you?
No? Yes? Do I need a napkin? I don't have a mirror or anything. I stared as Diana came closer and gently kissed my cheek by the corner of my lip, making me gasp slightly. Dude! Permission! Ask for it! What was she doing? Why was she kissing my cheek? I was red in the face already, and here she was taking advantage. Diana pulled away and slightly licked and popped her lips. What?
You had a little juice on the side of your lip. It was bothering me.
That's what napkins are for, not weird whatever that was. I ran my fingers over where she kissed me and felt my face grow even hotter. Diana chuckled slightly at the sight, making me almost glare at her. I didn't know if she was flirting with me or trying to embarrass me. Either way, she was winning. I can't stand when other people win. Eventually, my alarm started going off, reminding me to be ready for bubblegum and Suzu. Right, school was still a thing. I stood from my chair and grabbed my bag, walking out the dining room.
And where are you going, might I ask?
I have school? I have to go to school.
Ah, I see.
It's a human thing. Don't worry about it. I looked to Diana, feeling that she was up to something. She had her arms crossed, looking at me as if I owed her something. What?
Well, I don't exactly want you to leave this house with the memories you have. I'd be breaking the rules if I allowed that.
So I have to stay here? But we had a deal. You stay for a day, I keep my memories until you leave. I still have school to go to, though.
Then skip school and stay home.
Stay home, stay home. What?
That, or I go with you.
Either way. What? Diana was crazy. To suggest going to my school was practically signing a death wish. Everyone would ask about her. What would I tell everyone? That's crazy.
I can't let you leave this house with those memories unless I'm with you. Rules are rules.
Well, I think you were the floaty thing by Lisette, so I mean it's probably okay. What rules?
The rules of the world, sweetie.
Which worlds? And also tell me. Rules of the worlds? What was she talking about?
The rules applies to any magical being that lives in the human world. They were established on a day you humans might know as the birth date of Jesus Christ.
Christmas? Or sometime in spring? Wait. So does that mean Christianity is legitimate?
It's a story to some, a religious faith to others. I won't deny or prove a religion exists because that's a human matter. Magical beings, on the other hand, don't pay attention unless they're angels from the world of heaven.
Interesting. My curiosity was pecking at my mind like a frantic bird. I wanted to know more. Diana was giving me answers, and I wanted to ask more questions. However, I had to go to school. I was conflicted.
Stay, and I'll tell you more of these rules.
Stay? And if I go?
Then I take your memories. Now.
What if you go with me? I was trapped. There was no way I could bring Diana with me without some repercussion. If she took my memories now, then I'd go to school without remembering anything. However, if I stayed, I could learn more, but I'd miss school. I'll stay. I bit my lip. Did I really want to stay? I could feel my fingers run over my phone and call up Peebles. Without even listening to the phone, I spoke into it. Hey, girls, I'm feeling really sick. Don't worry about coming and don't come over. I'm staying home and getting better. I hung up without even acknowledging Peebles or Suzu on the other end. Diana crossed her arms and waited for me to turn to her fully. I threw my bag to the side and looked to Diana, ready to learn more. You're going to tell me everything.
I'll do the best I can.
Woohoo! I walked up the stairs with Diana behind me. I glanced into the dining room to see it already clean. I guess Diana used magic to clean up after us. I continued and wound up walking into my bedroom. I sat on the bed as Diana stood in the balcony window. It was just like last night. So I can ask anything and you'll answer, right?
I'll give you the best answers I can give.
Yes! Knowing Diana, it could have been a white lie. She already had hidden some details, but I guess she had her reasons. However, I would need to know more than just details. The rules of the worlds. What are they?
They are the heart and soul of the human world, created and approved by all 5 worlds on the human date, December 25th.
I was right, it was Christmas. 5 worlds?
In human terms, there is the human world, heaven, purgatory, hell, and the abyss.
That's pretty neat. What are the rules in this agreement?
These rules dictate the behavior of otherworldly creatures in the human world. Without them, there would be constant war between angels and devils, while the vampires would try and enslave humanity.
Interesting.
Demons are merely the watchers, but often the devils or vampires will try and coax them into joining them.
I see. So angels and vampires exist too?
Yes. Angels are from heaven, watching over the human world with a careful eye. Vampires are from the human world, but pass on to purgatory before rebirth.
I don't understand. Please explain. I stared at my lap. This was all amazing, yet this wasn't satisfying my curiosity. Did I want to know more? Did I want to know just about demons? This was all a huge deal, and I felt both over and underwhelmed. So, these rules have rules over humans. Humans can't know about magic at all?
Correct. Humans, to the angels, need to remain pure and innocent. So they dictated that humans cannot know of the other worlds or of other beings. The rest of us agreed. Only a select few are allowed to know the truth about us.
Why do we need to remain pure and innocent, and when can we learn the truth? But that's hardly fair, isn't it?
Well, take a look at yourself. You're barely proficient with magic. Your kind is too focused on who will fight the next war or who will screw the next person.
That makes a lot of sense.
I'm sorry to admit this, but humans are the weakest race in the planes of existence. The only ones who truly protect you are angels.
That also makes a lot of sense. I felt angry that she made humans sound inferior. Yeah, we had our faults, but it wasn't like any of the other races were better, right? There was no way humans were the inferior race. No, I agree. We're probably pretty inferior. Well, we're not inferior.
Oh, you're not now? Really?
That's about my reaction to Diana. Don't worry about it. Diana stared at me, looking me up and down before smirking a bit.
Let's go on a little trip, shall we?
Yes, okay. Yeah, that sounds fun. Field trip. I raised my eyebrow. What was she on about? First, she wanted me to stay here. Now, she wanted to go out? What was with this girl? Before I could protest, the world began to spin around me, forcing me to jump up and grab onto Diana. She held me as the room spun practically out of control. My fear escalated, and I buried my face in her shoulder, wanting it to stop. She was trying to prove a scary point. It was working. I felt the world slow down around me and soon come to a halt. I didn't want to look, but gently Diana pushed me away from her body for me to look around. I gasped when I realized I was in a business office. What is going on? Where are we?
Just a simple business office. Nothing more.
And what about it? I looked around and felt an air of familiarity to the room. I couldn't figure out why, but my brain kept me aware that I knew this place somehow. I didn't get to think on it long. Suddenly, a group of businessmen entered the room, stopping at the sight of Diana and me.
Who are you two?
Fairies? Yes, we're fairies. I froze. What was going to happen? We were going to be thrown out, get in trouble, and I would never be allowed out again. This was a mild nightmare. Diana's giggle stopped my thoughts. I looked up to see her smirking at the group of men, a hand by her lips.
Why, do you not know who we are? For shame, for shame.
I like your attitude. Diana guided me to a chair and sat me down before sitting on the table. I practically turned red as Diana hiked her dress up to where her entire leg slipped out from the slit. She crossed her legs and tossed her hair gently.
We are your employers. This lovely lady is the CEO of the company, and I am her personal secretary. You men, however, are late.
Ooh, you're devious. I like you. I stared at Diana as she stared down at the group of men like a tigress would her prey. The group collectively began to shuffle in nervousness, surprising me. Were they really believing her lie? How? Diana smiled and lifted her leg slightly, making the men lean in for a possible panty shot. I couldn't help but feel both stunned and slightly jealous.
One of you needs to come over here and kiss my foot as an apology.
Wow. What? I looked to Diana's foot, seeing it gently bob in slight impatience. Was she seriously going to make one of them kiss her foot? They obviously couldn't be that enthralled with her enough to stoop so low. They could if they want to keep their jobs. If she threatens that, yeah, they're gonna do it. I let my thoughts become destroyed as I watched a man step out from the group nervously and get on his knees in front of Diana. As he gently cradled her foot in his hands, I tensed and held my breath. No way. The man gently kissed over Diana's foot, making almost a sultry sigh escape her lips and send a shiver down my spine. Diana smirked and leaned back on her hands, looking down at the man before her.
My ankle next.
Okay, you're pushing it. Like an obedient servant, the man traveled his kiss to her ankle as Diana let her head fall back with another sigh. Diana, what are you doing?
Proving to you how weak the human mind is.
Yeah, you're proving a point, all right. Diana raised a hand above her and snapped her fingers, causing the group of ogling men that remained to straighten up like an army at attention. I felt myself tense and catch my breath in response, but I couldn't feel any power over me.
Water, a massage, another kiss.
But you're just a lowly secretary, so how are you doing this? With each command, a man would separate from the group to fulfill it obediently. I watched as each man became practically a slave to her whim. Diana closed her eyes and let out a pleasured hum, making my spine tingle again. For some reason, this irritated me beyond belief. Watching her be pampered by enthralled men made something crawl in my chest. Something dark. I wanted it to stop. I don't know. I guess that's enough. Diana and the men around her suddenly looked at me. Diana was a little surprised, but then slightly smirked. I guess if I'm the CEO, I am the boss.
Oh my. Is someone a little jealous?
She did admit to it. It's not like that. Just stop it. You've proved your point. Diana chuckled, making me wince. Would she stop? She wasn't obedient like the boys, so who knew with her? Just offer her a raise, I guess. Diana then snapped her fingers, surprising me and forcing the men around her to huddle together where they were previously.
I have proven my point, haven't I? Oh, well. I guess I got a little carried away.
You're a pretty good secretary? Diana ran a finger over her lower lip and giggled at my face, though. What?
You're adorable when you're jealous.
I guess. I'll take that as a compliment. Thanks? My face turned red instantly and I covered my cheeks, glaring at Diana. She giggled again before snapping her fingers and making the room around us fade away into darkness. A mere breath later, we were back in my bedroom with both of us on my bed. Diana stretched her arms and smiled at me. And we'll see what happens next time.